And hello again, and here we are in front of my garage for part 3 of my series on how to build up a decent toolkit at home for working on your bike without spending a fortune. So in this particular video we're going to talk about sockets and drivers. So in front of me here I've got some of the sockets that I've built up over the years. These are sizings from sort of 35mm right down to sort of 6mm. Because in the past, and in fact I still do, work on Harleys, I don't just have metric sizes, I also have to have imperial sizes. You know, the sort of 5/8, 3/4 of an inch, an inch and so on. So that sort of doubles up the number of sockets you need to have, but that's just me. If you're working on your Japanese or your Italian motorbike at home, chances are you'll never need to use imperial sizes, so just concentrate on buying metric sizes. So when it comes to sockets and drivers, I built these up over many years, and I must admit I got it wrong. I didn't do things the right way, because when I started off buying tools many years ago from the likes of Halfords and so on, the vast majority of socket sets you could buy were all 1/2 inch drivers. This, by the way, is a 1/2 inch driver because it's got a 1/2 inch size here that you plug into the socket, 1/2 inch. And that's what cars use, that's what you use on most cars. But really it's too big for the vast majority of jobs you want to do on a motorbike. So I found over the years I don't use these very much at all, and I don't use this driver. I do use it for things like tightening up, you know, spindle nuts and swing arm nuts, that sort of thing, or unloosening them off, but most of the time I don't use it. At the other end of the scale, you've got 1/4 inch drives. This is a 1/4 inch driver, very small, very neat. And again, it's got a 1/4 inch connection here to go on your sockets. And of course, if you get that, you've got to buy a whole new set of sockets to fit it, which I've done. They're not here, they're in the toolbox. But I bought them one by one. And once again, I bought all the common sizes, 8mm, 10mm, 12, 13, 14, 17, 19 and so on. And that's about as far as you want to go with a 1/4 inch drive, because if you're going to use something bigger than 19mm, you're probably going to switch over to use these 1/2 inch drivers instead. So fair enough. But what about what's in the middle? I've got 1/2 inch here, which is too big, and 1/4 inch on this side, which oftentimes might be a bit too small. However, there is a size that's perfect for motorbikes, and that's 3/8 drive. And I've broken my own rule here because I've got a full kit of 3/8 drive sockets and their driver. I have got myself what's in here, so let's get these out of the way and open up what's in here. This is made by Teng Tools, a good value for money proposition if you ask me, and something that I do recommend. So here we have a 3/8 driver. So as you can see, it's sort of halfway between the 1/4 inch and the 1/2 inch, as you might expect. And here we have a full set of useful sizes along with extensions, and it's even got a little set here of screwdriver ends which you can use in a little tool like that. I don't tend to use that very often. Got a little pivoting thing there, a long extension bar. And as I say, I don't normally buy kits like this, and in fact I didn't buy this one, it was given to me as a gift. So having got it as a gift, I thought, okay, I'll try it out, and it's been amazingly helpful, amazingly useful. And now I find for the vast majority of jobs on a bike, this little kit works really, really well. I very rarely use this one, the 1/2 inch drive, and I use this one quite a lot for small stuff where access might be difficult, because the 1/4 inch sockets are also smaller and you can get in there to small recesses and so on. However, if I was starting off again and wanted to build a decent toolkit at home, then this is the sort of kit that I would buy. I would buy a 3/8 driver with all the useful sizes included in the kit. As I say, this is made by Teng Tools, and they make this kit and also some that are a bit bigger with more parts, and some that are a bit smaller with less parts. And I think this one was about, when I was given it, about £70. That was a few years ago now, so it might have gone up a little bit. But as I say, you can buy a smaller kit and then add the sizes you want in terms of sockets and so on later on. And so there's a quick overview of the sockets and drivers that I use here in my garage. So if you take away one opinion, it's not a fact, it's my opinion, I would say if you're starting out, don't buy a 1/2 inch driver set and sockets, and don't buy a 1/4 inch driver set and sockets. No, buy yourself a 3/8 driver set and buy a decent kit like this by the likes of Teng, Starville, Facom and so on. By the way, I will look up on eBay in a minute how much this sort of kit costs at the moment, and I'll put it up down here in the video when I edit the video. So yeah, well worth it, and I do find myself using this damn kit all the time. It's my sort of go-to kit when it comes to working on bikes. And so we're now at the end of part 3 of my series on building up a decent toolkit to use at home on your own bike. And I think for part 4 we'll cover pliers. Which pliers are the most useful, which ones you should buy first, and which ones you might want to avoid. But all that will be in part 4. So for now, thanks for watching and cheers.